Hi, I'm Chuck with IWS Motor Coaches. Before we start this video, I want to talk to you a little bit about the purpose and the intent of this video. You know, there's some people out there that watch our YouTube videos that say they take too long, or some say they're not fast enough. My intent on these videos is to really help people that are interested in either purchasing this motorhome or maybe having a custom ordered one, to really take you on a nice and slow journey, so that in the comfort of your own home, you can really start to understand what these things are all about. You know, the reason our company was founded is quite a few years ago when me and my wife were looking at our first motorhome. We went to several RV dealerships and they throw you in the golf cart and parade you all around and, you know, what do you want to buy? What do you want to buy? And it really was not the experience that we were looking for. I was looking for a dealer that was going to take their time and really show me all of the ins and outs. So before I spend $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 on a motorhome, I really understood and I could become an informed buyer. And that's our entire goal. So, you know, not to be too candid with you, but if this video is going to be long, so if you're looking for a short video, here's your opportunity to tune out. For those of you that really want to go, and I'll give you everything I got as far as explaining this, stay with us and we're going to begin this tour now. So I'm standing inside a 2019 Renegade Classic. And what makes a classic is the construction of it. So on most motorhomes that you'd see going up and down the road, especially Class A's, they're typically made using a laminated sidewall. And what that is basically a fiberglass sheet, really thin sheet, some styrofoam, maybe 1 to 1.5 inches thick, and then another fiberglass sheet. And then them two are vacuum bonded to the paneling, and then they use that as the sidewall. On a Renegade Classic, they use what's called FRP sidewall construction. And that stands for fiberglass reinforced paneling. So imagine you have a piece of wood paneling about this thick, and then they have fiberglass on each side and it's vacuum bonded. And they'll start out with a sheet that's the size of this entire wall, and it's the entire length of the motorhome. They'll stand that sheet up, then they stand another sheet up, and then they lower the full length sheet on top for the roof. So basically at that point, they've glued it down, screwed it down, put on edging. They've made a complete box. And then they go along and they can cut out the windows, and that gives Renegade a lot of flexibility on, you know, customizing them. So the Classic has quite a bit of customizing that's available to it. But one of the things that's really neat about it is the insulation value. So on this particular motorhome, we did our extreme weather package on it. So once the FRP sidewalls are stood up and this thing's boxed in, Renegade will spray what's called ceramic temp coat on the walls, and then they'll insulate it. And on this particular motorhome, we were able to get an R factor of right at an R25. So an incredible insulation properties in a Renegade Classic. The other thing about the way the sidewalls are created is it's the same construction if you were to go to Lake Havasu or Lake Mead and look at these big luxury houseboats. Most of them are made out of FRP construction. It's something Renegade's been doing now for about 17 years. If you were to go to a drag race or a NASCAR event or World of Outlaws, odds are more than half of the motorhomes in the parking lot would be Renegade Classics. They've been building them this way for years. It's just very stout, it's very robust. As we're filming, we're right next to a major highway. You just don't hear a lot of road noise. It has great sound properties, and it's just a really good construction. In fact, the roof on this motorhome, you could put 20 people up there if you wanted. It's a full walk-on roof. You can put a lawn chair up there. It's just an extremely durable coach. And then we put it on this Freightliner Cascadia chassis, and you just got something that's just second to none out there as far as stability and just its ability to go down the road and stop. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that as we move forward on the coach. But I'm going to go ahead and back up a little bit. We've installed an 18 cubic foot Samsung refrigerator. This has a locking feature so you can lock the door. You know, as you can see, it's a nice sized residential refrigerator. It also has slide out tray right here with the freezer. So you've got lower freezer space, you've got upper freezer space, and you also have an ice maker in case you want to use it. We've been putting the residential style refrigerators in our Signature Series coaches because we feel, just getting feedback from our customers, this is the best option for this particular coach. One of the things that we really like about it is the temperature control. If there's anybody on insulin or anything with this residential, you can really control the temperature to a high degree of accuracy. Now, as we move forward into the motorhome, talk a little bit about the pantry. It's pretty straightforward. If you've been watching our videos, we've been big fans of these slide out drawers. As you can see here, it's all dovetail construction, all solid hardwood maple. They have full length slide drawers on them, so the drawer comes out the full length, and then they have a soft close feature so the cabinet will slide in there. The other thing to point out is just the way they pocket in the hinges. It's just an incredibly well constructed coach. Here's another neat feature. So this particular coach here has all touchscreen controls on all of the lights and all of the electronics in here. And this is the new Renegade control panel in here. What's really nice about it, I don't know if you can see in the camera, but we have green LED lights over here. So that tells you which function is working. We have all the fuse buttons right here, circuit breakers, and then there's a legend here. So if you get a red light on 22, you can come over here to 22, and it's going to see that's the outside road scene light. If it's not working and it's flashing red, you can give us a call and we'll be able to walk you through some of the diagnostics. And then right here is the circuit breaker panel, and here is your fuse panel on this particular coach, or circuit breaker as well. Just a really nice, easy way to have access to the electronics and the diagnostics of the coach. Now as we move forward, I'm going to open up some of these cabinet doors. And this is something we've been trying to work in whenever we can on these larger floor plans. Lots of storage in here so you can have lots of room for frying pans, pots, pans, all of that. This whole entire cabinet under here, all the way to the back wall, this is all storage. We were able to do that because we've been using the true induction flush mounted cooktop. You know, my wife is quite the baker and cook, and she is a gas grill kind of girl, but once we switched to the true induction in our motorhome, we really love it. What's neat about true induction is it only works if you have a metallic object on here. So there's a magnet that has to activate before it'll start building heat. But what it does by not having to pull that cover off is we have access now to a big, large counter when we're not cooking. It's real easy to wipe off. Just really happy with this. While I'm standing here, here's a Samsung convection microwave. As I've mentioned in about every video, me and my wife love ours so much in our Renegade, we actually put the same model in our house. There's lots of nice storage above here. These shelves are removable, so like in our motorhome, we keep our coffee pot up here and toaster. You can just remove this upper shelf. Another neat thing, just kind of bouncing around here a little bit. In this drawer, there's removable shelves, and in our motorhome, we use this as the trash can storage, so we keep it right there. We got full-length drawer slides on all of these. In this particular coach, we have the stacked silverware drawer, so you can have silverware below and silverware above. A lot of people really like this feature. And then here you have storage underneath the sink. Here's the water heaters right here, so you have easy access to it. And then here's the sink with the removable sink covers. You can see here this has a full deep residential style sink, pull out faucet, residential style faucet. It's all just really good stuff here. Let me place these back in. Another thing I want to point out, We've installed extra 110 outlets here in the wall, so you can have lots of extra electricity. As we go around the coach, you'll notice that we've done picture windows in most of the bigger ones, but we also did include a vented window here over the sink, so you can open this guy up and allow air to move in and out of the coach. Lots of storage up here in these overhead cabinets, as you can see right there. Another neat thing that we're doing is we're trying to get Renegade, whenever possible, to do the tile all the way to the ceiling, bring it back along the side right here to use as a backsplash. Another thing to point out is the lighting, and as you can see in this coach, we got lights everywhere, and as I get older, having good lights becomes more and more important. Now we're going to go ahead and move up into the door and talk a little bit about the doorway. It's about 20 degrees outside and snow on the ground, so I'm kind of doing this a little bit out of sequence. But one of the things that Renegade did for 2019 model year is they've changed the door handle, which we really like. Kind of point that out down there. Stayed with the overhead coat hooks. Everybody that knows us knows we like them here, so you can hang your coats up. Another neat feature that we do at IWS is we have dual handrails installed, so as you're stepping out of the coach, you can keep both hands on it. And then this television right here has the sound bar built into it. And we have Renegade put on a larger, heavier duty window slide so that we can bring the TV out here a little bit more. So if you want to have a little bit better viewing angle on the TV, you can do that. Push this back in. Now if I step over here, this is kind of neat. This is where all of the digital touchscreen is going to go on, and I'm going to go ahead and have Austin relocate the camera so maybe he can shoot over my head here as I walk you through some of these features. Okay, here we are at the touchscreen, and I'm going to go ahead and start you out at the home screen. So we just push the home button. Here you can see the condition or the amount of water in our fresh water tank, gray tank, black tank, propane. Here you can turn the tank heaters on or off, turn the water pump on or off just by touching the screen. This is telling us the voltage of the house batteries, the chassis batteries. Here's your generator start button. We can also go into exterior lighting. So this will turn all of the lights on outside or all of the lights off. We can turn them on individually if we want. You can turn your storage lights on, your porch light on, your scene lights. You know, as I mentioned earlier, we're not going to go outside on this coach because it's so dang cold today, but we do have exterior scene lights all the way around the motorhome. Now we can go to the main lighting, and this is something I really like. You know, if we were going to leave the motorhome today, I can touch my light master and all the lights go off. When I come into the motorhome, I can hit light master on and they'll all come on. I can turn the living room off, the sofa, the overhead, and then I can just start, bringing them back on. The other thing to point out is that a lot of these, that you'll see this little double arrowed icon, so I can hold that and dim the lights, if you notice there. And then I can turn them all the way off or bring them up to full power. Just keep holding them. They go down and then back up. So that's kind of a neat feature. Now I'm going to go into the rear lighting. This is the rear bedroom, so I can turn it on or off. I can turn the bath lights on, the bed lights, the reading lights. Go into the next page, here's the toilet light. Or I can go back and just touch one button and shut them all off. When I go into the auxiliary, this has the emergency start button on the generator. It also has a ceiling fan in the bedroom, front and rear of the bedroom. Then we can go into settings, which really just controls the brightness of the screen. We can go to this button here. This is where you control all of the slides. And then we're right back to the home screen. So this has been a very intuitive, very easy to use system. This next one down here is for the Carefree awning, and this is just where you extend it, retract it. This here is the motion sensor, so I can change the intensity of if my awning's out and the wind comes up, at what level it'll start to retract. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and move up to the front of the motorhome. Well, here we are up in the cab of this motorhome, and I want to talk a little bit about the chassis portion. This chassis is a Freightliner Cascadia chassis. We've equipped it with the Detroit DD16 engine, which means it's 15.8 liter, 600 horsepower. Currently, it's the most powerful engine package that we can put in a motorhome. So we've done everything that we can to build the absolute best we could in this particular coach. As you can see, it's pretty cold outside. You've got a really nice view. I'm enjoying the heat seater on this, or excuse me, the seat heater on this motorhome while we're doing the talking. But I was trying to give you a little bit of a feel for what it feels like up here. You know, these seats are air ride, so you can lower them or you can raise them. Just very enjoyable. It has nice armrest on it, so you have a really good feel or a good command of the road when you're sitting in here. It's got you push the button, you can tilt and telescope the steering wheel on this coach. It's got some, I'll leave the steering wheel up. It's got some really nice features up here. Cruise control on and off right here, and accelerate and decelerate. Engine brake button. Has marker light interrupter, so if you're going down the road and somebody flashes their lights, you can push this button and you can blink your marker lights at them. I'll go ahead and lower it down out of the way here a little bit. As you can see, the gauges are very easy to read. These arrows right here are just how you toggle through the digital screen up here. So you can see how many miles per gallon you're getting, how many gallons you've used. All of them functions can be toggled through with these controls right here. Over here on the door, you've got your left and right mirror controls. You've got your door lock button, left and right power window controls. Really nice grab handle. It's easy to get in and out of this coach. I just really enjoy how I sit. As I've mentioned before, when you're sitting in one of these versus a Class A, I really like having a hood out here and having my mirrors. Everything is just as if I'm driving my pickup. It's a very natural, comfortable feeling when I'm driving this type of chassis. You'll notice this has a wing dash on it, so it turns and puts all of the controls and all of the gauges facing the driver. With all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about some of the controls over here. So this is the tire pressure monitoring system, or the TPMS. Really neat feature. You can just turn this thing on and then you can start toggling through the tires. So here's the left front tire. It's at 95 PSI. We've just toggled it. Now we're at the right front tire. That right front tire is at 24 degrees Fahrenheit, has 95 PSI on it. Now we're going to go ahead and move to the back. Outside rear dual on the front axles at 23 degrees, 97 PSI. The next inside dual is at 97 PSI, and it's at 19 degrees, so a little more shaded to the inside. And then we can just keep toggling through all of the tires and have the air pressure here. Sure adds peace of mind when you're getting ready to travel rather than going around checking each tire. This is the locking differential. So each of the rear axles can be locked so that, in a sense, if you start spinning, you can flip these and you'll have full four-wheel drive on the rear. So this is a tandem drive motorhome, which means both rear axles have drive power under them. It's not a tag axle, it's a full tandem drive. Another thing to point out on this coach is that we've equipped it with air disc brakes. And the nice thing about stepping up into the tandem axle is not only do you gain in stability, but you add an extra axle for brakes, so you get extra brakes. So something to point out on this motorhome, you know, this is a Class 8 tractor, so it's designed to go up and down the road, grossing 80,000 pounds weight. This motorhome is probably around 35 to 37,000 pounds empty. So as you can see, you got quite a bit of chassis here. We've equipped it with a 6-speed Allison automatic transmission. Here you can see this is an air gauge that shows the load on the air ride suspension. Here's your brake application gauges. So You can see them moving here when I slightly depress the brake pedal. But if you think about it, you have 120 psi of air. And so as you step on this, it shows you what percentage of the brakes that you're actually using. If this was to go all the way up to 100, you would know you're using 100% of your available brakes. This lever here controls the trailer brake. If you were pulling a big, huge trailer that had air brakes on it, this is where you could control that trailer brake control from. As we move into here, this is the new collision mitigation system. And I'm going to go ahead and put it on the demo mode. So this is the OnGuard Meritor collision mitigation system. We're going through a demo program. So right now there's a sonar looking out in front of the motorhome right now. And currently this was saying your cruise is set at 31 miles an hour. It works with the cruise on or the cruise off. So we're driving along at 31 miles an hour. Now it's sensing a vehicle in front of us that's 33 feet away, and the car in front of us is going 12 miles an hour and we're going 31 miles an hour. Maybe you're not paying attention. It's going to go to yellow, which means, hey, caution, we're closing in onto a vehicle a little bit fast. And then when it switches to red, it's saying impact is coming, and it's going to start applying brakes. It's going to use the engine brake, and it's going to slow this thing down, even if you're not on the brakes, and try to stop you before you have a collision. They have some really great videos out there on this. We think this could really save some lives. It's an option that we're installing on every coach that we possibly can. We've been using this in the tow truck industry now this has been out about 6 or 7 months. We've got customers calling us back saying, hey, this thing may have just saved my life because it's applying the brakes faster than you can even react. There's a lot to talk about this. It's very new to the market. It's something we just feel very strong about. In fact, I have a new coach coming and it's on my coach. I think it's just a phenomenal feature. It also has the Bendix side warning system. So there's an LED light up here in the A pillar on the passenger side. So if something comes up on your right hand side and you start to move, it's going to alarm and let you know if there's a vehicle over there. It also has lane keeping feature right here, and you can turn it on and off, and it notifies you through an alarm system if you're drifting on or off the road. There's the sonar for it up in the window. Very sophisticated system, something we're quite proud to be offering on our motorhomes for our customers. We want to keep you around a long time. Now we get over here. Now on this particular motorhome, we've done the Garmin Fusion RV radio. We can sure upgrade that to our IWS signature Rockstar stereo system if you want. But it has all of the basic functions. One nice thing about it is it does have turn signal mirrors, so I'll turn the left turn signal on and you get a camera view on there. And then when it cycles off, we can go over to the right camera, and then you're going to get the right camera out the right hand side. Some people like it, some don't. It's just an option on here. But on this one, we also mounted a secondary camera up here, so you can always be looking out the back. You know, if you're pulling a trailer or you're using a dinghy tow to tow your car, you can keep this secondary camera on it. While I'm up here, you can see it's got a nice reading light, and it also has a red light so that you can, as a passenger, they can be reading at night and it doesn't bother you. Here's your parking brake. You push this yellow button to release the parking brake. The red parking brake button you would only use if you're pulling a travel trailer. I'm going to go ahead and tilt this steering wheel up. Hopefully you can see a little better. I'll start back over here. This is your docking lights that we have out back, and these are mounted down low by the tires, so as you're backing up you can turn this switch on and it'll illuminate them. This is the switch for the heated mirrors. This is your lane keeping. This is just a menu control button, so when you want to toggle through the menu on the touch screen or on the screen. Here's your automatic traction control, so if it's a little bit slick out, you don't engage your interlocks, you can turn this automatic traction control on, and if the wheels start to slip, it'll engage some traction control protocols. this all has to do with the emissions. Here's your 3-stage engine brake. Talk to you a little bit about what engine braking means. This has a full-on Jacobs engine brake, and it uses the engine compression to slow you down. And the reason I'm a big fan of the 3-stage is, let's say you're going down a long gradual hill. You can turn it to 1-cylinder head and you'll receive, let's say, 30% engine braking, and it'll just kind of stay on and hold you at the speed. If you don't have that and you go down a gradual hill and you turn it on, you slow down too fast and then you got to accelerate. By having these 3 choices, you can pick the compression or the engine holdback that best suits the hill you're on. I know that seems fast and abrupt, but that's kind of you know, the best way I could kind of describe it to you. This is a light for your footwell, obviously your hazard lights. And then when you get up into these gauges, you have your air pressure gauges, your speedometer, your tachometer, fuel gauge, axle temperature gauges. All of that's pretty much straightforward stuff. I think I've covered just about everything in here. I do want to point out it does have an auxiliary electric trailer brakes for those of you that are just pulling your trailer brake. The heater controls, very easy to get to. Everything's very intuitive. You know, one of the things that I like about the Renegade brand and the Freightliner truck is everything is ergonomic, and there's not a lot of electrical technology buttons. Everything's nice round dials. It's buttons that are easy to push. There's a lot processing when you're driving one of these things. You know, out here our speed limit's 80 miles an hour, so a lot of people are running 80, 85 miles an hour, and there's a lot going on, and having everything that's very, you know, accessible and easy to use. You know, this truck is designed, or this chassis is designed to go over 1 million miles. Many people in the truck world, when they go to buy a used truck, if they find a used truck with 300,000 miles, that's considered low mileage. So the best thing you can do is get out and run this motorhome, get out and use it. That's what it's designed for, is to get out and go. So I know I'm going on and on. There's just so much here that I want to make sure I share with you. I'm going to go ahead and get up and talk to you a little bit about some of the overhead consoles. Okay, here we are. I'm going to talk a little bit about these overhead bins. So this has the Winegard Traveler satellite, and let me back up. So there's basically 2 types of satellites out there. There's the in-motion satellite, and you'll normally see them. It's a little black dome or a white dome. And what that is, that's a small satellite about this big around, and as you drive down the road, it's locking onto a satellite so you can watch TV as you're going down the road. When you go to the Winegard Traveler, that's a disc that's about this big around. And when you push that button, this big satellite dish folds up and then it locks onto satellites. The reason we've been using these is this will lock onto 3 different satellites, and it'll allow you to get high definition satellite images. But more importantly, it'll allow you to use your DVR. If you use an in-motion satellite, you won't be able to get the DVR capabilities. In-motion satellites typically only lock onto 1 satellite, so this is a much more competent system. The only drawback to this is that you have to be stationary when you use it. However, many of our customers will just record TV shows while they're stationary, and then you can play them back while you're traveling down the road. If you want to order a custom coach, we can sure put the in-motion as well as the Winegard stationary system in. Here's the Blu-ray DVD player, and then this shelf is just set up to put your DirecTV satellite receiver. We can also convert this coach over to Dish Network if you want, but currently it's set up for DirecTV. You can see here we've installed, or had Renegade install, the mesh cover. We like this better than glass because it allows the heat of the components to get out. Go ahead and turn and show you a little bit of the overhead controls up here. This is your surge guard. So we've installed a surge guard on this to help clean up the incoming power and handle surges. Here's your auto gen start feature, and this is where you would control your inverter. You could turn it on or off. We can program this to turn the generator on. Let's say you're not going to be around the motorhome and you want the generator to come on at 8 o'clock in the morning and turn off at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We can show you how to program all of that right here so the generator will start and stop automatically. We can also show you how, let's say you have dogs and you want to leave the motorhome and go shopping. We can program the air conditioning unit and sync it to this. So an example would be, we'll set the auto generator start to come on when the inside of the motorhome's at 75 degrees. The generator will start, and then when the motorhome climbs to 78 degrees, the air conditioners will kick on. So all of these functions are done right here, and it's really nice being up at eye level, so it's easy to program. There's an awful lot going on here, but I do want to remind you, when you buy a motorhome from us here at IWS, we provide our IWS Advantage package, and in that we provide you an iPad with private, members only, if you will, videos on how to use all these functions. So our hopes are, if you're out on the road and you want to use this and you don't remember how, you can grab our iPad. You can bring up the video on the Auto Gen Start, and we're going to walk you through step by step how to use it. These videos are for our customers only. They're not available for the general public. We also have a private website that it has access for our customers only, and once you buy a coach from us, we give you access to that website so you can get this information in the event that your iPad would go dead or you lose it or something. This is just more of the lighting features. You can turn everything on and off from here, and then this is the temperature control. We've also pre-wired this motorhome for a solar system, and if you do, we would mount the controller right here. Now as we move over into this compartment, this is basically just a storage compartment, but one of the neat things we've been doing is installing an extra 110 outlet in here. A lot of our customers are carrying a satellite phone, or you want to charge a laptop or something. This is a great compartment where you can do all of that. You may have noticed as I was sitting up here that the front seat swivels. You can turn it, it swivels. It's got nice armrests on it that are fully adjustable. Just a neat feature. I hope you guys like the colors on this coach. This is all ultra leather fabric. This is ultra leather bridle. This is a special order that we do on these coaches. We have to pay quite a bit of money to get this feature in, but I just think it really looks beautiful. I wish I could transfer the feel of it through, but it's just a really nice supple feeling fabric or leather fabric. Okay, now we've moved over here to the sofa hide-a-bed. It's a full air mattress. It has 3 seat belts underneath it. The things that I really want to talk about is the overhead storage that you can see. So there's lots of nice storage overhead. There's also great lighting, which is something that I think gets overlooked in a lot of motorhomes. I know when me and my wife were first looking, we never really thought much about it, but it's nice to have lights right here when you're reading. You'll also notice that we've been installing these nice picture windows, but we're also keeping these side windows so you can have ventilation out the side windows. I just think having a nice big plate window really adds to the look and the feel of the motorhome. It's a lot more enjoyable. As we come along here, we're into the new dinette. So this is the new dinette for 2019 in Renegade. They call it the Dream Dinette, and this will actually convert into a bed. One feature that's kind of nice about it is they've made them a little bit wider, so you could have 4 adults sitting here a little more comfortable, where the previous models were a little bit shorter. You can see there's a built-in drink holders here. We've equipped this motorhome with these MCD power shades. Very simple to use. You just hit the all button and all of the night shades will power down. You can also control them individually. It's just kind of a neat feature, you know, when you get to your destination, you can just push the button and the slides will come up. And then we can mount this anywhere you want it. Can't really tell from sitting on this side of the counter, but there's 2 seat belts on that side. That's new for 2019. Many of us Renegade dealers, I think Renegade heard us and our customers and started offering seat belts now on that side of the dinette, so the kids could be sitting here as you're traveling down the road and be buckled in. It's also got the real nice countertop on it. You can see it's the full thickness solid surface countertop on it. You can see here we got a really nice plate glass window. I apologize, it's so cold out there and so much snow we couldn't get out to where we normally film, so we're up against the side of the building here today. Okay, this is kind of a neat feature that we'd been putting into our Signature Series floor plan for quite a while now, and that's this recliner little cubby hole area right here. It's kind of a real neat place. You can sit down here in the evening when you're watching TV. We've got some cubby holes in here so you can keep your remote control. Got a spot to put a drink. There's some extra cubby holes here. We had them put a USB outlet and a 110 outlet so that you can have your laptop right here. We started installing this little window. It kind of helps to, you know, have a little nice viewing area right here. And we've done extra lights above the top of it so that you can have a really nice reading lamp if you want. It's got a nice reclining chair so you can kick back and watch TV from here. But the one thing that I do want to point out, I'll go ahead and get up, is that if you want, we have a lot of customers that would prefer a desk. So we can just take the sofa out and we'll build you a real nice desk in here. We also installed an extra 110 outlet to power if you want to have a PC mounted here. We can do all of that and just remove the recliner. So it's a really nice area. We have some people that travel with dogs, and this is where they will store their kennel boxes. Just leave the recliner at home when they're taking the dogs, and then they can just put the kennels right here. So it's a really nice use of the motorhome. All right, well, here we are into the bathroom, and there's always a lot of choices and compromises that we have to make. And on this particular motorhome, we did the all-in-one washer dryer. I have one on my motorhome. You know, I think ultimately having a stacked washer and dryer is better because you can wash and dry your clothes a lot faster. However, if you do the stacked washer and dryer, you lose your linen space. And we really felt, and listening to our customers, a lot of them like the all-in-one and they want to have all this extra linen space. But, you know, as I point out or mentioned several times, these are custom motorhomes, so we can order a motorhome and do stacked, we can do a not stacked. Some customers have even had us mount dog kennels inside here and do a really custom door for them right here. All kinds of choices. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, a lot of the people that are watching this will say, well, why didn't they put in a stacked washer dryer? Well, the reason is we wanted to give you more linen closet. If you want to give that up, we can sure do a stacked system. So just know everything is about choices, and we try to think through every one of these choices. As I move around in here, you can see that we've done a vessel bowl sink in this particular vanity. We've also put side drawers on it. The craftsmanship in here is just phenomenal as you look around in the coach. Beautiful medicine cabinet in here. Again, just really look at all the craftsmanship that goes along with it. I'm going to go ahead and open up the shower. This particular coach has a skylight in the ceiling. The ceiling on this coach is over 7 foot tall. You couple that with the skylight, there's lots of room in this shower. It's got a nice little spot where you can sit down in there. Just a really nice usable feature. Now as we move into the bathroom, you can see that we've installed the macerator toilet system, and this is a full porcelain toilet, and it has a macerator on it. So what happens is it emulsifies all of the byproduct or all of the waste before it sends it down into the sewage tank. There's a lot of benefits to that, we feel, and if you've watched our videos for any length of time, it's the only toilet we've installed. I don't know if we've ever done a motorhome now without installing the macerator toilet. It's about a $1,000 option, but we feel it's worth every penny. Another neat feature about it is it has electronic controls to control the water depth, so you can go into a water saving mode if you want. When it's time to travel, if you want, you can push both buttons at the same time and it'll drain all the water out of the bowl. Got a nice towel bar right here, a great reading light, that's all important. Nice storage over the top, has a vent, fantastic vent, and I want to talk about the vents too. The vents that we're putting on these ceilings are designed in such a way that you can travel down the road with the vent on and running. It's called a max air vent. It's not a vent cover. Them things I think are very ugly. This is a full-blown max air vent cover. And what happens is as it opens up, it's like almost like a little accordion in there, or not an accordion, but a screen. So it's wind rated to be going 80 miles an hour. It'll also work when it's raining outside. That was something that was very frustrating to me with the automatic rain vents. You know, they come on and close when it's raining. I'm like, crud, when it's raining outside, I want to get a little bit of that rain smell in the coach. And this has a hood over it so that the vent can be on while it's raining. It's good stuff, is what I'm trying to say. As we turn and look, you'll see we have a full-size vanity inside of here with a built-in sink. It's all just really, really nice stuff. Well, here we are in the bedroom of this coach, and this is our IWS wardrobe slide, and this is something that we designed exclusively for our customers. And what's nice about it is it gives you a spot here, you know, where you can take your watch off and lay it here in the evening, or you can put a purse or makeup. Another neat thing you can do is you can slide the bed slide in and have your makeup mirror here and have a place to sit. We got a 110 outlet, USB outlets, and there's still plenty of room in here in the closets to be able to have his and hers closet space. It's real nice, we feel, to have these nice drawers so you can have your socks and underwear and stuff right here. As you can see, these are really nice drawers, full-length drawers, again with the soft close features. There's also all of these cabinets down below. I'm not going to open them all up. But then you have a spot down here for the satellite and the direct TV. All of that will mount here in the bedroom. We've got a nice 32-inch flat screen smart TV in here. You can also notice, hopefully, the beautiful padded walls in this coach. And I think the padded walls give it a really nice feel. It also helps with soundproofing because there's about a 3/8 of an inch of foam behind this. You can see the full-length wainscoting that we did in this coach. I think it just works very well. Now, as we move up here into the bed, I want to point out that there's 150 gallons of fresh water underneath the bed. I think Renegade's very prudent in putting the water under the bed, so you know, on days like today where it's 20 degrees outside, we can keep the water in and keep it from freezing. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about the bed. So this is a mini king bed. It's 66 inches wide, 80 inches long. A lot of beds out there are only 72 inches long, and for me, I'm 6 foot, my feet tend to hang over. So having an 80-inch bed is just critical to me and enjoying my time out on the road. There's a lot of lighting features here. So one of the first things is I can turn the reading lights on right here, but yet you also have the individual opportunity to turn them on or off here from switches. And there's also a control right here, so you can turn the lights on and off while you're laying in bed. It's really easy to lay and look. And you can also close the windows just by touching the button. This is a really neat feature so that you don't have to reach over the bed to pull these down. It's got lots of nice storage over the top. Nightstands on both sides. There's a nice little cubby hole in them. Now you may notice that we didn't do windows here, and we did that so that you could have a lot more room to be able to place a water bottle, remote control. Nice little pocket here. You also each have a 110 outlet in case you're running a CPAP machine. You got a nice outlet beside it, or if you want to charge your cell phone, everything's right there within easy reach. Just been probably our #1 floor plan when it comes to a bedroom is this particular one right here. Well, we've about completed our tour. I really hope you enjoyed today, and I hope those of you that are very interested or thinking about buying a motorhome that you found some value in it. I really want to encourage you to come by in person, meet with Steve, Marty, Scott, some of the staff, and just go walk around the lot and check out these motorhomes, and hopefully we can really help guide you into making a very informed decision. With that, thanks a lot for your time.